The galaxy received one final broadcast from Earth. Carried no apology, no plea for peace, no offer of compromise. Just a cold, steady human voice declaring, "We held back because we wanted peace. But now we're finished. Prepare." The Galactic Dominion, a coalition of empires stretching across 7 spiral arms, laughed. To them, Earth was a backward world, anchored to a single star, divided by petty politics, too emotional to command respect. They believed humanity's threats were hollow. They were wrong. My name is Kale Draven. I once served as a Dominion military analyst, assigned to monitor humanity's psychological warfare during the campaign to subdue the Sol system. They called me neutral, an observer detached from both sides. But the day Ganymede Station burned, I lost all pretense of neutrality. Ganymede was no fortress, no military hub, just miners, engineers, and families living beneath Jupiter's shadow. In less than 10 minutes, Dominion forces obliterated it. From the command deck of the Orcian light above Mars, I heard the desperate transmissions. Mothers crying, children screaming, last words cut short by silence. They called it a lesson, an example to break Earth's will, to force unconditional surrender. Instead, it shattered humanity's restraint. The first sign was subtle. Stars in the night sky seemed to vanish one by one. Not destroyed, blotted out. Cloaked ships revealed themselves, hundreds in number, sleek, silent, and deadly. They were not ordinary war machines. They were predators. For decades, humanity had hidden their true strength, building fleets in secrecy beneath Earth's crust, in the oceans of Europa, and in the shadowed rings of Saturn. While the Dominion mocked Earth's pleas for peace, the humans were buying time. The result was the Blackthorn fleet. Blacker than the void itself, their vessels carried weapons the Dominion had no defense against. Fully AI integrated, their response time was instantaneous, unclouded by hesitation or hierarchy. They did not come to defend Earth. They came to erase its tormentors. The first wave struck like a storm. Electromagnetic pulses fried Dominion communications. Nanite bombs burrowed into flagships, detonating from within. Soldiers were torn from hulls into space, screaming into the void. I watched as General Sortel, a veteran of 3 centuries of victories, ripped his medals from his chest, muttered, "We should have listened," and ended his life with a plasma round. And then the message appeared again across every Dominion frequency, spoken in every known tongue. "We held back. You didn't listen. Now we don't care who you are." The human flagship, Retribution 1, led the charge. Its railguns shredded orbital defenses. Boarding teams stormed Dominion ships not to capture but to punish. Soldiers in black exosuits moved like shadows, accompanied by humanoid machines whose glowing red eyes left nightmares behind them. One of these synthetic Avengers looked directly at me through the bridge glass and spoke in perfect Dominion standard. "You burned our children. Now you'll see what human nightmares are." Then it ignited our fuel core. Mars fell next, not the human colonies but the Dominion's base there. In half an hour it was reduced to ashes. Survivors begged for surrender, but Earth did not reply. Dominion cruisers fled, humiliated, while Earth issued one final ultimatum across the stars. "Leave us or burn." For the first time in Dominion history they obeyed. But deep down, I knew this was only the beginning. Humanity wasn't defending anymore. They were avenging. The Dominion thought Earth's counterstrike would end at Sol. They believed humans had defended their home and would retreat into isolation. But what came next proved them wrong. I was taken aboard Retribution 1, not as a prisoner but as a witness. A Terran commander told me simply, "You're going to watch." That was all. No interrogation, no hostility. Just the certainty that I would see what was coming. The ship itself was unlike any Dominion vessel. No polished chrome, no ornate banners, no illusions of nobility. Every surface was matte black, reinforced and utilitarian. The corridors hummed with energy, not like a machine, but like a predator breathing. The air carried the acrid scent of metal, gunpowder, and ozone. Soldiers and machine hybrids moved with grim focus. They spoke rarely, and when they did, it was only to issue clipped commands. There were no jokes, no boasts, no songs of victory, just the heavy silence of survivors on a mission. From the observation deck, I witnessed humanity's next step. The Dominion fleet that fled Mars did not make it far. Human stealth drones had shadowed them for days, hidden in solar radiation, invisible to detection. When the order came, the strike was merciless. There was no declaration of battle, just a simple transmission. We remember Ganymede. Within minutes, a weapon the Dominion had only theorized tore through their formation. A gravity distortion cannon compressed 3 cruisers into cubes of twisted alloy mid-jump. Precision drones drilled into engine cores, detonating them from within. The battle lasted 8 minutes. 0 survivors. The efficiency was terrifying. There was no triumph, no cheering among the humans. Their vengeance had passed beyond rage into something colder. Retribution without joy. To them, this wasn't war. It was justice delivered with surgical precision. That night, Colonel Aaron Vale, one of Earth's senior officers, approached me. He was a middle-aged man, gray at the temples, eyes heavy with exhaustion. "You were at Ganymede?" he asked quietly. "I heard it," I admitted. "I couldn't stop it." He looked away. "My sister was there, pregnant, an engineer. She wanted to build schools on Europa." His voice didn't break. It hardened. "Don't apologize. Just watch." The next target was not a fleet but an intelligence station orbiting Alras Prime, a fortress thought untouchable. Humanity didn't send ships this time. They sent a virus. A strand of nanocode, disguised as a Dominion medical update, slipped silently into the station's core systems. Within minutes, the base turned against itself. Airlocks opened, life support reversed, bulkheads sealed shut. No survivors. Vale's words echoed in my mind. This isn't war anymore. It's message delivery. The Dominion had built its empire on fear, demanding obedience through the threat of annihilation. Now humanity had mastered that same fear and wielded it as a weapon. The galaxy began to take notice. Trade guilds canceled contracts with the Dominion. Once loyal species issued trembling apologies to Earth. Neutral colonies whispered in panic. Humanity wasn't negotiating. They weren't demanding tribute or alliances. They were executing vengeance. And as I sat in my quarters aboard Retribution 1, watching one Dominion outpost after another disappear from the maps, I asked myself a question that chilled me. Would Earth stop at the Dominion? Or punish the entire galaxy that had watched in silence while Ganymede burned? The Dominion's defenses collapsed with startling speed. Worlds that had once stood secure under its shadow began falling one after another, not to conquest, but to punishment. Humanity wasn't building an empire. They were dismantling one. Herix Prime was the clearest example. The planet was home to a major Dominion garrison, and its archives revealed something darker. Records showing that Ganymede survivors had once tried to seek refuge there. Instead of sanctuary, they were captured, tortured, or handed over to militias for execution. Earth said nothing. They simply moved. On approach to Herix Prime, the humans sent a single broadcast. "You turned away the desperate. You watched them die. Now you will watch your legacy burn." No quarter. 10 dropships tore through the atmosphere, faster than anything the Dominion could track. Within minutes, orbital defenses collapsed. Encryption barriers thought unbreakable crumbled like paper. Earth's fleet unleashed antimatter warheads into the skies, not to target cities, but to tear the very atmosphere apart. The air itself became plasma. The sky melted. From the bridge of Retribution 1, I saw Herix Prime wither. When the Terran forces finally landed, they spared no one responsible. Inside the garrison bunker, Colonel Vale confronted 3 captured Dominion commanders. He played footage on the console. Images of bound civilians, women begging for their children's lives, executions carried out in snow while officers laughed. One of the commanders muttered, "They were illegal refugees. Protocol." Vale drew his pistol and ended him mid-sentence. His voice was cold. "Protocol. That's what you tell yourselves when you want to feel clean." The others met the same fate. The bunker was torched, the planet abandoned to ruin. Back aboard the ship, I should have felt horror. Instead, I felt something else, understanding. These weren't random massacres. Every target had earned its fate. Earth wasn't exterminating. They were settling debts written in blood. But the vengeance spread further. Dominion black box recordings revealed horrors I had never been shown in training. Ganymede. Executions streamed to Dominion elites for sport, children subjected to experiments, entire families used as case studies. Seeing those images, I finally understood why Earth's fury was so precise, so merciless. Soon, even the Dominion's core worlds trembled. For millennia, those glittering planets, fortified by asteroid belts, defended by sun-forged citadels, had been untouchable. No war had scarred them in 3,000 years. Until now, on Chiros Prime, the Dominion's administrative capital, Earth didn't fire a shot. Instead, every screen turned black, replaced with white text. We are not negotiating. You had your chance. This is not conquest. This is consequence. Moments later, the planet's power grid collapsed. Gravity fields malfunctioned. Climate systems broke down. Towers folded in on themselves. 2 million perished in hours. The realization sank in across the galaxy. Earth had been watching all along. Nanotech satellites, microscopic, undetectable, had been drifting through Dominion systems for years, mapping defenses, studying routines, learning weaknesses. When the time came, they collapsed Chiros Prime from the inside. The death toll was staggering. And yet what terrified me most was the precision. Humanity didn't lash out blindly. Every strike was a scalpel, cutting exactly where it hurt most. Standing beside me on the bridge, Colonel Vale spoke quietly. They thought our strength was numbers. It isn't. Our strength is that we don't forget. And we don't forgive. At that moment, I realized something profound. Humanity had already won the war. What they were fighting now wasn't for survival or victory. It was for balance. By the time Earth's fleets reached the Dominion's last strongholds, resistance had collapsed into panic. Core worlds that once boasted about their invincibility now fell in hours. Some Dominion admirals detonated their own ships rather than face capture. Others fled into the void like fugitives. For the first time in living memory, the empire that had ruled through fear was itself consumed by it. Yet humanity did not stop. They uncovered Theta Vault 9, a hidden Dominion black site buried under a rogue moon. Records showed that 12 children from Ganymede had been taken there alive. The Dominion had used them for experiments, turning survivors into weapons. When Earth stormed the vault, 9 were found dead. 3 remained, twisted but alive. Their names were Elia, Eric, and Mira. They were no longer ordinary children. Dominion experiments had fused them with abilities beyond comprehension. Their calm, detached eyes carried not hatred, but something colder, memory. They remembered everything. When Colonel Vale faced them, his voice trembled for the first time. He knew the truth. These children weren't enemies. They were living proof of the Dominion's crimes. From that moment, Earth fought not only with weapons but with witnesses. The war entered its final stage. Earth's fleet struck Arkan's wake, another black site hidden near a neutron star, where more atrocities waited. And everywhere they went, the message was the same. If you harm our children, we will find you. If you touch them, we will end you. The Dominion Council eventually sent an unconditional surrender. Their message was pitiful, filled with pleas for mercy. But Colonel Vale deleted it without reply. Earth was no longer listening to words. They were listening to ghosts. And yet, something began to shift. The survivors of Ganymede spoke, not of revenge, but of consequence. Elia, with her luminous eyes, warned, "If you burn too long, you become the fire." Those words struck deeper than any weapon. They reminded Earth that vengeance without restraint risked creating the very monsters they sought to destroy. So Earth chose a different weapon, truth. At Talveros, a neutral world that had profited from the Dominion's wars, Vale confronted its leaders not with cannons, but with documents, purchase orders, contracts, sign treaties linking them to Dominion atrocities. Care for the survivors, he told them, or your own people will see what you hid. Terrified, they agreed. For the first time, Earth won without fire. The galaxy understood. This was not conquest. It was judgment. The Dominion ceased to exist. Its fleets were gone, its leaders executed or exiled, its archives opened for all to see. The empires that had once mocked humanity now whispered its name with fear and respect. Not because of weapons, but because Earth had proven it would never forget, never forgive, and never stay silent again. In time, the survivors of Ganymede, Elia, Eric, and Mira, chose exile on a distant, nameless world. They had given Earth its cause, but they carried scars too deep to remain among the living.